Well, first of all, hello everyone. I'm very glad to have been invited to this conference to present a good practice example in the city of Varaždin. Maya has created a fantastic introduction in terms of the city of Varaždin, and I was with her in 2016 in the MAPS project, which never really came into fruition because they removed the Bergsteg, they removed a part of the city, but it doesn't matter. We started with the participation. I was at that time in the opposition. Now I am the deputy mayor. And ever since we came into power in 2021, we decided to use participation not only in such projects, but through the participative budget for the citizens. We gave opportunities for citizens to become engaged. And through all of the projects that we do, we decided to work with the professionals. And I am a politician. I am in office, but I would like to be present in such projects. And I think this really creates a good synergy. I have an example that was realized thanks to my wish, my idea, to have the roundabouts, which are in a way always popping up and are increasing in numbers, and they are oftentimes seen in the access roads to the cities, and we wanted to have them as postcards for people who might only go through them or pass them, and we wanted to have them be the picture of the towns and the cities. It doesn't matter really where in the world, but you can always you can always see some new ideas in China and in Slovenia equally. We decided to have a prize fund, and we wanted to construct 5 roundabouts at the same time in the city of Varaždin, of which 2 were already in the phase of planning still. But we decided to go into this competition in a way that we can hire the Varaždin's Architects Society. Now we do have contracts signed for the documentation, and I'd say that we really started with the roundabouts. I would call them installations. So we decided to give an opportunity to everybody. We didn't want to have a call to competition for this or that one to be able to apply. We wanted everybody from Croatia and abroad to be able to apply. We do have some winners from Slovenia as well. And so we took a new path so that we can see how it's going to work. There were many situations in which we needed to find our bearings, but as you can see here, we tried to connect the landscape, the artistry, the transport, and everything else. And the roundabouts that were being constructed, we wanted to have water supply, we wanted to have electricity, so that we can enable the ones who are doing the construction works be more creative in their solutions. What was key was risk. We politicians like to play it safe. I'm not a populist, I never was, but on the one hand you have to take a risk, but you have to be aware of the fact, on the other hand, that it doesn't go in the wrong direction. As a politician you can have bad results. The professionals and experts say one thing, the public says something else, so you have to work in a participative way. You need to have the public involved. It's important to say that the city of Varaždin, as Mr. Jakšić said, we used to be the capital city. I believe all of you know a lot about the city of Varaždin, but we need to take care of our image, and we need to nurture it. And this, we didn't want this competition to do more damage to the city of Varaždin than good. So we need to have this in mind. I hope we were successful. We'll see in the end when the roundabouts are in place, and we'll see how people are going to react. So, we wanted to keep in mind the symbols of the city of Varaždin that we want to have in or on these roundabouts that can symbolize the city. And so you see the judging criteria, aesthetics, economics, functionality, and so on, and the recommended motives for installations were something that represents the city, music, and during our term, Varaždin became the first UNESCO's City of Creative Music, the first in Croatia. We also mentioned bicycles. Bicycles, we are known as the city of bicycles. But there is also Baroque as Baroque music, Špancirfest as one of the most important events in Croatia, flowers, green parks, and so on. When we were publishing the competition, we saw maybe that we cast the net too wide, really, and that we wanted to, maybe should have defined this more narrowly. So we did have architecture and art together. We wanted to get a synergetic solution to meet all of the criteria that we had set. And the jury included Mrs. Brezak, Idak, and others. You can see myself as well as the representative of investors. We had an urbanist from the city of Varaždin. We had the deputy members and the technical commissions. Two colleagues. We had a secretary, and we also had the expert associates here. And now we come to how to make sure that you do not give out too much money, so that you are not condemned by the public of throwing away money for some sculptural elements or installations on roundabouts. So we made an estimation, and we do have bigger and smaller roundabouts. So 17,000 euro plus 8, so 25,000 euro for the two larger roundabouts and 20,000 euros per a small roundabout, so more than 100,000 euros for the entire thing, and you'll see some of the solutions later on. We did have a prize fund, and this really caused us the most trouble. We had 23 applications, and our problem was how to define the prizes according to groups. We couldn't really, and one of our colleagues who works in public procurement was dealing with this, and we somehow managed to introduce a change in public procurement, which is going to help all of you in the end, because you will be able to group the criteria. And so this is how we've done it. So this was the prize fund. I have to admit, when looking at everything, we did have an issue. We awarded some prizes, maybe undeservingly so, but we were working according to the propositions. We didn't know how many we are going to be receiving. We started in June last year, and it's still ongoing, so we had some issues in public procurement, as I've said, and I actually signed the declaration for the preparation of documentation, so it's not going to be finished before the election, the local elections, and there is no dilemma. This is not a campaign effort in no way. So let's move on to the prizes. The first This is a prize for the inner roundabout. It is in the inner town. This was awarded, as you see, the names listed here, Kristina Šrokova and all of the others who worked on the concept and said they're going to be taking out wood out of the Drava river to bring it onto the roundabout to represent a typical animal in the Varaždin area. We had a lot of discussions about this proposal due to the sustainability of the material. We didn't know how long it would last due to traffic and weather conditions. This roundabout is in a part of the city which is popularly known as Bronx. It's a part of the city where the workers who were employed at Vartex lived. They spent their whole lives very close to the factory, and this is a concept design by a Slovenian team. As you see, this is a needle. The in green is the fabric material, and you can see also the thread. So this really symbolizes the textile industry. We had Vartex, we had other companies as well, but unfortunately, due to competition and all of the other things, they went bankrupt. And this roundabout is one of the most heavily congested ones in the city, and I really, really like this solution, this concept design. You are professionals, I'm not. But personally, I liked it because it really symbolizes the city of Varaždin and its production facility Vartex. This is a roundabout just outside of the city or coming into the city. It is an interesting design by young authors, Lara and Mihail. This is actually a bicycle. It's kind of different. You can see it only if you are coming and leaving in a certain line, but it is very, very modern in its approach, and it's very likable. It's in a part of a city where a lot of people cycle, and we'll see once this is done how our citizens are going to accept this. And so now, the two last roundabouts are the roundabouts that come into the city from Maribor and from Ivanec. This first one and the next one are the ones who won prizes, but were designed by the same authors. You can see Branka, Dražen and Sandra, and it's really done nicely. We selected this one because it focused on music. Varaždin is a UNESCO music city, and even when tourist buses come in, the guides can really tell a good story of music and the town of Varaždin, even as the bus is approaching the city.
Druga varijanta. Oni su imali 5 različitih varijanti, ne znam, možda ćemo vidjeti da li možemo još s njima malo...
Okay, maybe we'll see whether we can talk to them some more. We selected these ones. As you can see, these are really beautiful shapes, and they also include the landscaping part, so that it all makes sense. But in any case, we wanted to pay homage to music, in a way, to music which symbolizes Varaždin. This is the first prize, and for example, on the bottom part of the slide you can see some of the designs of the same authors, but on other roundabouts, and we really didn't want to have the same theme at each roundabout. I didn't really understand some of these, especially this photovoltaic cells on each of the roundabouts, and Solvis, the only factory that produces solar panels in Croatia, was in Varaždin, but this was not the intention of the competition. So we had to really award prizes to designs that might not be deserving, but it was an opportunity to do something different and to get an idea of how this might work. Now we come to the final conclusions of what architectural competitions can offer. And as Maya said, we are also working with and around the river. We try to create a synergetic approach with 4 different stakeholders. Maybe this was not the most successful like we wanted it to be, but in any case, for us as investors of sorts, as a public institution or the authority that's implementing this competition, it's a good thing that includes the public. You are the basis, so the professionals and the experts. But with these competitions, we partially take responsibility off of us politicians, and if something is wrong, then it's your fault because you did it wrong. But I wanted to be a part of the jury just so I can be involved in the process, to be a part of it, and to also learn from you as well on how we can help you in future versions of competitions. And we also needed a voice of reason. Sometimes the professionals can take it a bit too far. Well, this is it. I hope it was interesting, and thank you for your attention.